just to let you know that I can't see you and you can't see each other. And if you would like to ask any questions, right at the bottom, there's a Q&A little function which you can use if you want to have any pressing questions you want to ask, and we'll answer them as best as we can. Now, the purpose for our meeting today is just to update you about the learning, what's been going on in Year 5, as you probably already know, well, the kids will have come home and told you all about it. So this term, we've already learned about multiplication and division. At the moment, we're busy with measurement. We are measuring the perimeter of shapes and compound shapes, and also area. Area has been a little bit tricky. Of normal rectangles, absolutely fine. At the moment, we are measuring the area of compound shapes, which is a tiny bit tricky. So tomorrow, we're focusing a bit more on that. In English, we've been writing beautiful stories about emotion, about courage and bravery, which actually stemmed from the children. The children brought in books about inspirational people that they really admire. And I thought, right, let's use this because, it really, really sparks their interest. Non-chronological reports will follow in a week's time. At the moment, we're busy preparing the children for the, writing biographies, also about inspirational people or famous people, because they do ask lots of questions, that at that age now, that they want to know everything in life. So in history, we've been learning about Maya and also Anglo-Saxons. Now, Anglo-Saxons are pretty interesting. We've also been learning about the differences and the similarities and comparing the Anglo-Saxons and the Maya together. I never knew this, but we actually got our days of the weeks named after the Anglo-Saxons. They derived from that. They came up with that. In art, it's all about Mayan art. We're investigating Mayan masks. We are having a look at different Mayan inspired artists, which is fantastic. And computing with Flowall, where the children, they don't always use computers. They're writing their own algorithms, like a set of instructions, like, how to brush your teeth, take the toothbrush, put the toothpaste on. But they're writing algorithms to do specific things and then spotting mistakes in them. This helping them with coding, which later on, then we will go on to the computers where they will write their own code. I mean, they can go into brilliant things over here where they can actually, write codes and become international stars. Who knows? In French, we're learning about foods, naming different foods, asking what would you like, what do you like. In the classroom, you've probably been hearing, if you probably heard that we've been pretending to be waiters and waitresses, asking what would you like, bonjour, and and we've also had a friend from France Skype, like zooming in, giving the children a lesson, pretending, asking them what would they like to eat, which is fantastic. The kids loved it. In PSHE, we've been learning about individuality, the children's talent, building up their self-esteem a little bit, talking about body parts. That was a lesson yesterday. Obviously, I sent you a text. We also, next week, be learning about puberty, where the boys and the girls will be splitting up. So Mr. Tilabi will be teaching the boys all about, puberty, and Miss Taylor and I will be taking, and Alex will be taking the girls and talking all about puberty and periods and stuff. And then we'll actually combine the two, the boys and the girls together, just so they need to know what's going on for the boys and the girls, so they can be, it's a very sensitive class. They're a very sensible class, but they need to know these things. They are growing up. And we're also going to be talking about the physical changes. Then we've got fantastic new art initiative. Hello. We are pushing the new sketchbooks, and we've got wonderful new resources. And the children will probably been telling you about their inspired, hopefully, about their wonderful art lessons. So at the end, so the idea is the children can express themselves emotionally. They can take their art books at the end of a session, at the end of a math lesson or English lesson or history, and just go and complete and doodle a little bit. It's a bit like almost like art therapy for them as well. And also the idea is, in other schools that I work with, when they taught an art lesson, the children would produce 20 little furry penguins which looks identical to each other. That's not the idea at all. We want children to experiment, get messy, and express themselves and interpret art the way they would like to. Now, we probably got a few messages this week about reading journals. Just a reminder that children do need to bring their reading journals in every day, because we make notes as teachers and staff about what the children have been learning this week, and just how you can possibly help them. So please remind the children to bring their reading journals, and also read with your children at home so they can express themselves, so they can better their inference skills. In school, we've got specific skills that we kind of focus on. We kind of teach them discreetly as well, like inference skills, comprehension, just recalling information, spotting grammatical features in text, because reading and writing is very, very closely linked, which is appreciated if you do read with your children at home. Then, online, great success with online learning via Google Classroom. Thank you very much for pushing that. And of course, if children don't have access to a computer, we always provide them with paper copies. I mean, some children love the technology and others don't, which is great, each to their own. When we do provide paper copies with like homework books, but thank you very much for the fantastic homework. It looks wonderful. And the children have been so motivated to come and say, "Oh, Miss Luca, can you read my work? Can you read my work?" Great laughs comes out of that. And then just to let you know, this class, in my 20 years of teaching, this class have had the best spelling results I have ever seen. We've got, a class of 28, we've got about 14 getting 20 out of 20 every week. Phenomenal. Or perhaps 19 or 18. They are so motivated, which I thank you parents so much for that. Then online learning gets posted every Monday at 8 o'clock. I pre-schedule it during the PPA time. They get posted on a Monday at 8 o'clock. And then just to let you know, I know unfortunately during COVID, we can't go on exciting trips, but we have Zoom meetings. So we've been Zooming to France and back. In a lesson, I've got a friend in France that they've been teaching the children some French. So just not teaching them French, but consolidating French. So je m'appelle, and then they've been learning their names, saying where they come from, what their nationality is, what foods they prefer, what foods they like, and those kind of just reinforcing the learning that we've been teaching during the term. Then our kids absolutely love their science experiments. So this term we've been learning about forces, and we're still learning about forces, and we've been making parachutes, which went down an absolute storm when we launched them last week. Then our art lessons, I'm so sorry, but they're very messy. The children probably come home smeared with chalk all over their faces. It's messy, but they have to experiment with different sort of mediums. We've got new resources, as I said. We've got printing, kind of block printing. We've got polystyrene where they actually make their own block printing kind of prints, which is wonderful. We did a staff meeting the other week where the staff actually experimented, and they really found it really helpful. And then, of course, the children are extraordinarily amazing readers. They bring in books which inspires them to read, to write, to just be the best people they can be. Thank you very much, parents, for helping with that. It's wonderful to have seen the children bring in their beautiful books, inspire the rest of the children to go and buy those books as well, and perhaps kind of borrow from each other to read as well. And then, unfortunately, this year we can't do a nativity play. So lovely Miss Vanessa said, she's going to be filming our songs so it can be posted out. So in preparation for our song, it's been posted on Google Drive. Please practice those songs with the children. You are going to love our tune. It's very, very catchy. Now, if you do have any questions, you can pop it into the Q&A like we said before, but just to let you know, just like a little bit of housekeeping, PE is on a Wednesday, which is taught by me, it's gymnastics, and on a Thursday, it's taught by Mr. Tilabi. Eucharist Sister, unfortunately, we can't all get together in the hall anymore because of COVID. So we're staying in our bubbles, and every third week, Father Mark or one of the fathers comes into the classrooms and delivers Eucharist for the children, which has actually been really, really lovely. It's a lovely intimate setting. The children feel more comfortable to ask, different questions. And just to let you know, the running a mile is back again. So the children are running a mile every day. Well, sort of a mile, maybe half a mile, but we're building up to a mile, hopefully. So every morning to get that oxygen pumping through their veins so they can think bright and clearly. I know some parents have been asking about water bottles, asking me to remind their children to drink more water during the day. So we've got a water station right by the sink. Some children actually prefer to keep their water bottles underneath their desk. The thing is, we don't allow the water bottles to be on the desk, unfortunately, just because, with all the moving around and Kagan structures and brain breaks, sometimes the water bottles get knocked over, and then it ruins their beautiful books and all their hard work. And like I said, we're busy with in sex relationship education. We're learning about puberty and the effect on the body. But if you can perhaps have a talk to your children about puberty and what's happening to their bodies, which will be really, really wonderful. We've encouraged the children, so that are going through change, and actually all the children, that hygiene is very, very important. They need to perhaps bring some deodorant, maybe not the aerosol one, but perhaps a nice environmentally friendly roll-on, so in case they feel a little bit sweaty, so that after a PE session or wanted to fresh up perhaps after break time, they can go and use that, which is more than welcome. So if anybody's got any questions, please pop it into the Q&A and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Do we have any questions? No? Then good night, and we'll see you all tomorrow bright and early, 5 to 9 at the gate. Smiles on. Good night. Thank you for coming to the meeting. Oh, one Q&A. I can't see it. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for coming.